My name is Jesse Smith, and obviously I'm the lead singer for Gutterdammerung, amongst other projects and stuff like that. And yeah, that's it. Really, I'm the lead singer in this crazy ass metal movie film extravaganza, basically.
Now, what can you tell about Gutterdammerung? Because it says it's the loudest silent movie on earth.
Yeah, so Gutterdammerung is a beautiful, dark, almost fairy tale, I suppose it's been described as. Obviously featuring some of the biggest names in rock and roll history. So the movie features Iggy Pop, Slash, Grace Jones, Josh Homme, Lemmy, of course, Tom Morello from Slayer, Jesse Hughes, Henry Rollins, and he's actually been on the road with us over the last year. I don't think he's going to do he's not going to be with us at the Pink Pop, but so all these incredible people sort of took time to be in this movie, and it's all through the imagination of this guy called Bjorn Tabermoser, who's an incredible visual artist and massive metalhead. He just loves all types of music, from punk to rock to metal to psychedelia, but all different types of music. And I think that shows within the movie. So my job is basically the lead singer of the band that play the soundtrack, the live soundtrack to the movie as you watch it. So it's very much a visual, almost 3D multimedia movie live gig experience, I suppose. And it's the first of its kind. It's there's been people always say, "Oh, I've seen something like that." When I tell them about it, they say, "Oh, I've seen something like that. I've seen that they're doing a movie with a live orchestra." But it's not like that. The difference is with this, it was always meant to be this way round. So everything you see was a preconceptual idea by Bjorn. So even the way the film is shot, he knew that at one point there might be someone doing a guitar solo in front of it. So he kind of always had that in mind. So it's very, very clever. He's a very clever guy, Bjorn. And us as musicians are just, we're just very happy to be, I suppose, the icing on the cake of the project, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it sounds great. To be honest, I saw you guys live at Hellfest last year with Mr. Rollins.
Yeah. And Hellfest was a great gig, man. That was one of my favorite ones we've done so far, actually.
Yeah, and especially in the dark, because it's all dark up there, and you can see the black and white movie and the band behind the screen. It was really awesome to see.
Yeah, it's quite a spectacle, I think. People come away even having seen it going, still not quite sure what that was. But Hellfest was amazing. We had a huge crowd, as you know, everyone goes nuts. For us, it's when people are headbanging and when there's like circle pits going on for a movie, it's quite interesting.
And you talked about Henry Rollins touring with you last year as a special guest. Do you have any special guests at the gig tomorrow, or will this be one of the final gigs this year?
The shows we've done this year, we've just had, it's just been us. I'm sure in the future there might be special guests. We do have an amazing Dutch singer called Kovacs performing with us at Pink Pop. She's an absolute rock star. She's an incredible singer, amazing personality, and she's absolutely crazy, man. She's a nuts girl, but she's become a really good friend of ours, and so she's coming out to do a guest spot with us. And we've had this year a guy called Brent Van Aster from from Stake Number 8, a brilliant Belgian band, and they supported us in London. But Brent's also been a guest on a few of the shows this year in Paris and Brussels, and he's just a real talent as well, and a really cool guy. And he wrote a piece of music that we use, a really cool version of Carmina Burana that we use at the end of the movie. So yeah, those two have been involved, and who knows who'll be around in the next few years. That's what's brilliant about this project, because it's fluid and it moves, and sometimes you never know who's going to turn up. The first gig we did in London, and we were really lucky to have the guys from Eagles of Death Metal there, and also Grace Jones was there on the night, as well as Henry Rollins. And we also had a guest appearance from Melania Hannes, who was obviously in Queens of the Stone Age and then Crooked Vultures. And so we've had some really cool guests come out and play with us. But yeah, this year I think we focused mainly on just getting the movie out there and showing people, basically. We don't want people to rely on the fact that these legends are going to be there. Gutterdammerung is a beautiful kind of experience by itself. It's so we're sort of proving that we can do it without them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Because you're in Gutterdammerung and all, but how did you become the lead singer for Gutterdammerung?
Well, that's kind of easy, really. I think a lot of luck was involved, and also, I mean, I've been singing in bands since I was a kid. I was in my first rock band when I was about 14, in my hometown where I'm from, in Reading, and I just sort of grew up and was always in bands and always loved rock music, and kind of got into heavier and heavier stuff as I got older. And I think I was singing at a jam night or something in London, and somebody saw me sing, and it was around the time that Kevin Armstrong, who's our musical director, who's Iggy Pop's current musical director, so he plays all the Iggy Pop shows, as well as the rest of the band. Actually, the rest of the band that we play with on tour is Iggy's band, plus me and one of the guitarists, basically. And he was looking for a singer, and somebody just kind of threw my name in the hat. And so I had a call from Kevin just out of the blue, and he said, "Hey man, I hear you're the guy for this project, this crazy project we're working on." And so yeah, I just went down to meet him down in Hastings, where he lives, and we got on really well. And we talked through the project. I mean, even at that point, I don't think Kevin was too sure about what it was we were trying to create. It was a new experience for all of us. And once I'd sung through some of the stuff, he sent some stuff off to Bjorn. I think he recorded some of it and sent it to Bjorn. And they were like, "Yeah, let's go." And I think I was pretty much the only person who they looked at, really. It just worked really well. And without being arrogant, I think the show could have been written for me, really. It's right up my street. It's all music I love, and yeah, so it just worked out really well, man. But I think that's what happens. The more you sing, and the more bands you're in, and the more projects you're involved with, your name gets out there, and then eventually the right gigs come along. So I think that's what happened, really. So yeah, a lot of hard work over the last 10 years, and then a bit of luck as well.
Yeah, that's funny. As you said, you got he saw you at the jam session, and now you're touring the world with the first ever silent movie. Opera.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously I've done quite a lot of big gigs before then. It's not like I was, just singing at a jam night sort of thing. I'd done a few kind of arenas and things with other bands in the past. But yeah, it was more just timing, I think. Just the right. It was just the right moment in time, and and it was just cool to do the gig and to get the gig, So.
You talked about doing arenas, and now I know this from videos and from seeing you on Facebook. You played the World Cup '66
Yeah,
replay.
yeah.
How did that came along?
That was a wicked event. That was a very similar situation. It was a friend of mine, a guy called Tim Maple, who I'd worked with before, and he calls me and says, "Hey man, they're doing this event at Wembley Arena. You know, so you think, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, Wembley's obviously, you know, one of the biggest venues we have over here in London, and I'm also a massive football fan. You know, I love soccer and football. I'm a big Man United fan actually, and so yeah, he says to me, we've got this event. It's 50 years since England won the World Cup. So we're going to have a celebration, and there's quite a lot of famous actors and other musicians who are going to be there. So there's quite a lot of pop guys, like people like Lamar and Sophie Ellis-Bextor, and the Trogs were there playing Wild Thing, and yeah, there's some really, really cool people from back in the 60s as well. And they need someone to do a tune by The Who, you know. And I think, you know, I think without getting the real artists themselves, it's sometimes quite difficult to find, you know, genuine rock and roll people, you know. So I seem to get phone calls sometimes to say, you know, can you come and do this? And I was obviously over the moon to be asked to do it. So, and they wanted someone as well who played guitar and sang backing vocals and stuff. And I mean, they originally asked me to play guitar on it, but I said, hey, I know a guy who's got a good voice and also plays guitar, so why don't we get him to do it, and then I can perform a bit more. So that's what we did in the end. So my best friend, a guy called James Ashby, came and performed with me. And yeah, so it was me and him up there, and we joined this huge orchestra. And yeah, and it was sort of live on television in the UK. And it was quite a big celebration, you know. And I'm a big fan of The Office as well. And the guy who plays Tim in the Office, Martin Freeman, his name is. He was sort of sat behind me singing along during the songs. That was pretty cool. And to be honest, the biggest moment of that for me was just before I went on. This guy, Sir Bobby Charlton, I don't know how much you know about English football, but he's just, you know, he was in that World Cup winning team, and he's basically the best, one of the best footballers England's ever had, and he's in his 70s now, but he was also just a Man United legend, you know. So I sort of met him just before I went on stage, and then came off stage, and he was still stood there, and I had a nice chat with him. So, you know, that kind of that made the day really special. But yeah, it was just a great event to be a part of, and you know, I think when you're doing big gigs like Gutterdammerung and stuff, you know, again, the name gets out there and people just start calling, so they know they can trust you on a big stage. So
that's always awesome to hear. Even you meeting one of your, can I say, idols in football?
Yeah, definitely. Who'd have thought that would happen through music, you know? But it does, you know. I've met some incredible people, obviously, through Gutterdammerung, and you know, obviously people like Iggy Pop and Grace Jones, you know, all these guys, and just Henry Rollins, man. I mean, being on tour with Henry Rollins last year was such an experience because he's such a wonderful human being, so interesting, and you know, if anybody's got any free time, I advise them to go listen to the Joe Rogan podcast with Henry Rollins talking, and he talks on there for, I think, about 2.5 hours, just about his life and the places he goes, and he's just one of the most interesting men I've ever met, and just having the opportunity to be sat on a tour bus with him for an hour by myself and just have a chat with him, you know, it's like a complete privilege. So it was great to have him along on the end of the tour, and also, you know, when you're at festivals and stuff like that, you know, you always meet really cool people, really nice people, and you know, and it's cool because you realise these people are just people, you know. I mean, Iggy Pop's a bit different. I think he's from outer space, but yeah, you know, everyone seems to be really cool, especially, and generally the more famous they are, the nicer they are, you know. And that's the way I found it anyway.
Is there anyone from the film you haven't met in real life or on tour or during shooting?
There is a few, yeah. Some of the American guys, like Josh and Slash, I haven't personally met. Obviously Bjorn's met them and stuff, but I think once we get out to the States, you know, no promises, but I've got a feeling they'll be around at least to watch the movie. So I'm hoping to meet those guys at some point in the next couple of years. Because I'm sure they'll want to come down and see the movie. It's just it's often timing with these things as well. Because the guys are so busy, and just making schedules line up is difficult. But I'm sure they'll be down to see the show at some point. The one obviously that was devastating was Lemmy, because Lemmy loved this. He was really up for doing a guest slot with us, and we were supposed to. I don't know how much I can say about this, but we were supposed to be playing a show where he was going to guest, and obviously then he passed away. So that was obviously really devastating for us and everyone across the world. He was obviously such a hero and an idol. So that was the one that got away from me. And I think also Bjorn talks of when he was trying to get people involved with the movie in the first place. He was quite close to getting David Bowie to being involved in the movie. Obviously everybody knows what happened there as well. So that was another one that was quite sad. But I think apart from that, Bjorn pretty much got everyone he wanted to be in the movie. So yeah, we're all more than happy. And if we meet these people again, then great. But like I said, we've met some incredible people along the way anyway. Just people like Kovacs and Brent, these amazing young, aspiring artists as well, So it's been great so far. And I look forward to meeting the rest of them.
Will there be another gig after Pink Pop, or will it take ages? Can't you say anything about that?
There definitely will be more gigs. I mean, I'm just a mere mortal singer. I don't know the scheduling, but basically, this year has been a lot of talks with a lot of different people about where we might potentially be going next year. So I can't really say more than that, but this definitely won't be the last gig. But I think it will probably be the last gig this year. And we're going to take a little break, I think. But I think next year is going to be really busy. There's people all over the world who've been sending us messages and trying to get us to go. So we want to show this to as many people as we can across the world. So fingers crossed it all works out and we get to go meet everyone and show this crazy project to everyone. That's what we'd love to do.
Just talking about showing it to everyone. I myself was wondering, will there ever be a DVD or a Blu-ray release of the show, or is it just a live thing?
I think the beauty of Gutterdammerung, I mean, I would say this, but the beauty of Gutterdammerung for me is that it's live, because it's not. Once you've seen it, I think you'll realise it's not just about the movie, and the movie's amazing, but the way that Bjorn's written it is so clever that it wouldn't make as much sense without the music being live. I don't think it wouldn't make, the whole thing is a push and pull between the music and the movie. I think without the other, it wouldn't be quite the same thing. But then again, who knows that a few years down the road, if they were to make a live recording of the gig and the movie perhaps, and sort of mold the two together, that I don't know if that's something that they do, but I'm just speculating really. I don't know is the answer, but obviously for me, I just want to do as many gigs as possible with this, and it's like asking me what's better, going to see Eric Clapton live or watching him on a DVD. Hopefully everyone gets to go see Eric Clapton, but I understand people who are frustrated and just want to see it now, want to see it on DVD. But all I can say is, we're trying our best to come and play in as many places to as many people as possible. So yeah, be patient, and hopefully we'll be there soon.
What was your funniest tour story with Gutterdammerung or with any of your other projects?
My funniest tour story. I mean, I've got tons of funny tour stories. I'm not sure how many of them I'm allowed to go into. But one kind of not particularly rock and roll story is that we headlined the third stage at Download last year. And yeah, it was very, very muddy, and drinks were flowing, let's put it that way. And I was pretty wasted after the show. I don't want to tell you this story. This is so embarrassing. And the tour bus is about to leave, and I just rushed over and ran to the nearest bathroom just because I needed to have a pee before we left. And somehow managed to lock myself in the ladies' bathroom at Download Festival, and kind of in the VIP area where the coaches all are, where you leave. And yeah, so the coach is about to leave. So he's like, "Where's Jesse?" And I had to like basically call my tour manager from inside the toilet. Wasted like, "Tom, I'm stuck in the toilet. Can you come and get me out?" So yeah, I mean that's pretty tame, but it's all the guys find it hilarious and mention it all the time. So I thought I might as well tell you that one. So,
yeah, that's a funny story. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that was pretty funny.
And do you have any other projects going on for yourself, or is it just Gutterdammerung at the moment?
Yeah, so basically the last 6 months or almost a year now, I've been working really, really hard on my own project, basically, which is a brand new band with some friends of mine from London who are incredible musicians, and the project's about to launch. And actually, this might be an exclusive, actually, because we haven't even put online the name of the band or anything yet. But
that sounds good.
Yeah, so basically my new band is called Romances, and it's a 5-piece band from London, and it's heavy in places, but I'd say it's probably I'd probably say it was alternative rock. It's kind of Queens of the Stone Age-y vibe, but obviously with my voice on top of it. So it's kind of a mixture of different things. But I'm really, really excited to get that out. We're probably going to release our first thing around August, September. So yeah, I can't wait to get that out. Obviously alongside Gutterdammerung. You know, it's so yeah, they're the kind of they're the two projects I'm working on right now. So I'm obviously really happy to be both. You know, Gutterdammerung is amazing to be a part of. But obviously Romances is going to be all our own material, all stuff that I've written, lyrics wise, and the guys in the band are insane. So they're such good musicians. So we can't wait to start doing some gigs and get out there. So
that's the Romances.
Yeah,
we're
just
the
called
first to hear that.
There's no the. Yeah, I think you guys are the first to hear that, actually. So I just, you know, the thing is we're gonna announce the name pretty soon. So, you know, I may as well give my friends in India a heads up first. So.
Yeah, we're worldwide, so everybody gets to hear it. I saw you guys in Hellfest, and you played at night, and usually you play indoor gigs, but tomorrow at Pink Pop, it's going to be daytime gig. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, firstly, we just like playing shows, but yeah, I mean, we're going to be playing in a tent tomorrow, and obviously we'll do our best to make it as dark as possible. But obviously, obviously for us it's better when it's like pitch black. But hopefully, you know, I'm sure the guys would have thought about this, but hopefully, you know, in the part of the tent that we're in, it'll be as dark as possible, so that people can still get the full kind of experience. I think, you know, when you're down the front, man, and it's I think it'll be pretty dark in there. It'll be as dark as we can make it, basically. If it's not, people can just use their imagination, then. You know. It's a crazy metal experience, you know. So you kind of, it's easier just to immerse yourself in it when it's pitch black. But like, come on, these guys have come to see it, proper metalheads, man. They know how to get involved. They've all seen a metal gig at 1 p.m. before, so they just got to scream louder and party harder, basically.
What can the people expect except the rock metal show?
Well, it's funny because, you know, you can, I think tons of different people like this. Even people who aren't like real metalheads, I think can like Gutterdammerung because, you know, you look at Josh Homme, for example, you know, you wouldn't call him a metalhead, but he's a rock and roll star. So, you know, people who like Josh Homme will come and see Gutterdammerung. So there might be parts of it that they they think are a bit heavy. But the way I describe it is if you went to watch a movie in the cinema, the music just works perfectly with the whatever you're watching. You know, you wouldn't watch Jurassic Park and go, oh, I don't like this song, you know. So it's kind of, it works perfectly with the movie. So it doesn't matter if people aren't necessarily into every single song, you know. It kind of, the whole point is that it kind of, it's a marriage between what you're seeing on the screen and what you're listening to, I guess. So I think everyone can enjoy it, man. Everyone with a bit of imagination and who likes good versus evil, basically, yeah. And is into rock and roll, really. I mean, it's kind of it's not a history of rock and roll, but it's kind of, it is, because of all the names of people in it, you know. It's a real kind of, it documents a period of music, you know, a period of the last 30, 40 years of rock music, you know. A few people have described it as like a modern sort of technological version of something like the Rocky Horror Show, and then before that, something like Tommy, you know, something that sort of was really of the time and featured a lot of very famous people at that point. Especially Tommy, you know, I loved that when I was a kid. You look at, you know, all the people involved in that movie around the time, and the crazy, wild nature of it, you know, the way it was kind of operatic, and then the crazy story, and there's a lot of parallels, I think, to be drawn from something like that. Except obviously this is cinematic and much more and combines the live thing with cinema. So I think everyone can enjoy it, you know. I think especially people who are into film will get lots of nuances of some things that Bjorn's tipping his hat to, you know, and things that there's lots of very stylistic stuff from old black and white movies that Bjorn's really into, and you know, stuff that probably goes over my head at certain points. But it's yeah, I think everyone can enjoy it. Actually, my mum enjoyed it, you know.
That's always the most important part, right?
Absolutely. Did you enjoy it, Mum? Yeah, I did. I don't really understand it. I really enjoyed it. That was her response.
Is there anything else you would like to say to the people who listen to this interview?
I guess I'd just like to say to everybody, and sort of say a little bit more about what I said before. This is a real crazy technical project. You know, to get a band on the road with a movie is very expensive and takes a lot of time, and I just want to thank people already for being patient with us, and just ensure and sort of, you know, just promise them we're doing everything we can to get out and play to as many people as possible, and you know, that's what we want to do. So thank you for your support so far, and hang in there, and hopefully we'll be with you as soon as possible.
Well, thank you very much, Jesse, for the interview.
It's a pleasure, man.